First of all, I want to thank Freightliner for finally fixing my 1999 Freightliner XL Classic. After 2 months of trying to fix a coolant leak, I'm not happy on how it started, and I'm not happy on how it ended. But you guys be the judge. Here, check this out. First of all, I got to tell you, man, I've been out here for 38 years, and this is the first time that this has ever happened to me. So I have to record this because it might be grounds for a lawsuit. I don't know. Who knows? Or you might think, yeah, you're crazy. Nothing wrong with that. You just suck it up. But anyway. The first time I had to bring it in and get it fixed, about a month ago, the warning light came on the dash and it shut down, and I'm thinking I'm out of coolant. So I opened it up. Sure enough, the side of the pan there was leaking. I says, okay. So I took it into a mechanic and had them look at it. And they said, yeah, it's a gasket on the side pan gasket. It's leaking out of there. So I thought, well, it's too cold out here to do anything, so I'll just bring it in and have Truck Country fix it. So I brought it in there, and they fixed it up, and they gave me the truck back, and I went down the road, and the warning light goes off again. It's low on coolant. I'm thinking, what the hell, man? You gotta be kidding me. So I look at it. Sure enough, it's leaking out of there again. He says, bring it back in. We'll look at it. So I brought it back in, and they called me a couple days ago and told me it was a couple bad clamps on the bottom of the radiator. I says, that pipe that runs through there, I replaced that a couple years ago. I said, that's all new on there. I did that myself. You had to replace that, and they charged me $1,000 for 2 clamps. I thought, Jesus Christ, man. I told them, I says, DOT doesn't stand for Department of Transportation anymore. It stands for dumb old truck driver, doesn't it? I says, I might be stupid, but ain't dumb. It's a joke, right? So I haggled with them over that, and so they took off $500 off the bill. I said, well, that kind of eases the pain a little bit. So I said, all right. He says, hey, we pressure tested it. It should be fine. You're good to go. So I go pick the truck up, and I go from there to Oshkosh. I had to go load down in Milwaukee and for Minnesota. So I had to go do a quarterly yard check at the office in Oshkosh. And they looked at everything, and they said, hey, you got a coolant leak. What? He says, yeah, we'll have to put you out of service. Well, sure, why not, So I called them back, and they said, well, bring it back on in. We'll check it out again. I told them, I said, you guys got to do your magic, okay? Not just take my money, but make this go away, too. This problem, make this go away. There's a picture of the clamp that they replaced. That don't look rusted or broke, does it? Doesn't look like that to me. By this time, I'm out of service. I'm losing money. I can't work. I got to bring it back in. Mechanics, they go to school to get a certificate to be a certified mechanic. $210 an hour. And the excuses keep piling up. That clamp that they replaced had nothing to do with the leak where it was leaking. It was a whole different area. That's almost like saying, Well, I couldn't fix your brakes, but I made your horn louder. So carry on. So now I want to show you what they did. So this right here is the pan gasket. On the side here is what they replaced. Okay, on the radiator. So the gasket alongside there was leaking, and it's still leaking. So then I brought it back in and they replaced these two little clamps, right? This pipe was replaced, so they said these were rusted, so they put new ones on there. Charged me $500 for these. Okay, now I got to bring it back in. You know why? Because it's still leaking, as you can tell. Leaking right out the bottom. So I'm hoping that they don't tell me that, oh, now we found the problem. It's a bad radiator. You're going to charge me another $2,000. Epitome of highway robbery, right there. Yeah, so anyway, I might be wrong about this whole ordeal with them, but I don't think I am. You stay tuned for when I get the truck back again, after they fixed the coolant leak and charged me $2,000, and then I had to bring it back in, and they said, now we fixed the coolant leak. So they didn't fix the coolant leak, and now I got to bring it back in to have them fix the coolant leak, and they're going to charge me probably another $2,000 to fix the coolant leak. Yeah, it's almost laughable. But stay tuned, and I'll let you know how this ends. Thanks. So yeah, all my premonitions are getting the best of me, because everything I said before was right. I was right, okay? They called me and told me you need a radiator. You know, if they would have fixed it the first time, I would have been all good with that, you know. Just putting a radiator in there, I'd be done with it. But not the first time. They had to try to fix it. $750 they charged me, right? And then they didn't even fix it. So I went back there and they replaced parts in there that had nothing to do with the radiator. Now, that was $500. But I haggled with them on that deal. So, and then finally telling me, hey, you need a radiator. What, $4,900 for that? You know, so total, it costs me $6,250. If they would have just did it right the first time, I would have been good with that. But all this jacking around and all this money I lost trying to get a radiator replaced, it's just unbelievable. So I got a call from Freightliner saying that, okay, the truck is done. It'll be waiting outside for you. All right. So I went there. I paid the bill. And I made sure that everything was done right. So I checked it. Opened up the hood, checked it to make sure everything was done. And this is what I found. Okay, here I am to pick up my truck after they fixed it. So I hope they fixed it for the third time. Hopefully this is done, but I'm going to check to make sure they did what they were supposed to do. I don't trust them, man. Just don't trust them. So let's see what happens. Tighten that down. incompetent. $5,000 worth of work right here. So yeah, there's no excuse for that. You know, if you're gonna do something right, it's got to be done right. You know, with all them clamps that had no bolts on it. You know, what happens if that stuff could have got caught in the fan and ripped off? It's like, you know, it was a shit show to begin with, and it was a shit show at the end. You know, I gotta pay for that. You know, so I had to drive it back up to the door, and I told him, "You're gonna have to finish your job, man. It's not even done. You know, everything is just loose in there. You know." So, but that's what I had to deal with. I don't know. Let me know if any other guys had this happening to you too. It's like, this is what it is, you know. But thanks a lot for listening to me whine. And hopefully it won't happen to the next guy. But it probably will. But have a good day.